Film Development Hell, Day 65. The search for a director of photography for our next feature film is on, is the name of this video. Why? Well, my name is Deborah Richards, and I am an independent film director from Las Vegas. And for the last year and a half, my team and I have been in development of my third feature film. It's a horror set in Texas in the mid-'80s, and it is called Scissor Mouth. And we're at a really, really exciting stage because we're basically at that late stage of development, and the next stage will be pre-production. But before we can fully get into pre-production, I need to find a director of photography to collaborate with on this film. And our plan right now is to find a director of photography who is at a higher level than we are. So I have to convince someone to help us up the ladder, so to speak, and bring their expertise to this production. So that's what we're doing today. I'm literally going to be doing some research and trying to find a DP. But as you guys know, nothing happens without coffee. Cheers. Damn fine coffee today. So if you saw yesterday's video, you'll know that Patrick and I made a list of movies and TV shows and some looks for the movie that we're considering and we're thinking about. And I spent a lot of time yesterday watching movies and TV shows and making notes about different directors of photography. I also, for some reason, I imagine that I saw this spreadsheet once with all these contacts of women in the industry listed by position, and I could have sworn it was on Film Fatales, back end of their website. If you're not familiar with Film Fatales, it's an amazing organization made up of women who have all directed at least one feature film. And I'm a proud member of Femme Fatales, and they are amazing. But they recently redid their whole website, and I think in the redo of the website, they got rid of that spreadsheet that I'm looking for. But then I thought, well, maybe I've got this wrong. Maybe this is, the spreadsheet is on the back end of Gals and Gear, which is another amazing organization that I'm a part of. By the way, I'm just pulling up Film Fatale's website just to give you guys a quick look at it. This is their new website. It's very nice, very cool. Well, I think in the whole revamp of their new website, they got rid of that spreadsheet. But like I was saying, maybe it was on Gals and Gear. So I actually emailed my friend Amy, who runs Gals and Gear. And I emailed her yesterday saying, am I going mental, or was this spreadsheet there? She actually wrote back this morning and said, you might be thinking of Women in Media LA. And she sent me a link to their crew list. Amy also goes on to say, we haven't put together a spreadsheet like that, but that's a great idea. So maybe they might do that in the future. But if I click on this Women in LA list, let's have a look at what we got. Sorry, this is Women in Media, and this is, I believe, the LA version. And they have a list of all these women who are, for example, this lady here, she is a producer and a writer. So this is a really, really good resource. I believe I can filter it out by department. So we'll go camera department for DPs. Camera, perfect. Okay, and now we have all these cinematographers and women in camera departments. So basically, I'm going to go through this list and pull up their cross-reference their IMDb and see what kind of films they've done and start making a short list of women. I did actually reach out to one DP yesterday, Natalie Kingston, who's a member of the American Society of Cinematographers. I reached out on Instagram, and I also reached out to her agent. She read the Instagram but didn't respond, and the agent hasn't emailed me back yet. So I'm feeling maybe I just got to give it some more time because they're probably researching me, or maybe it's just another one of these big agencies or people that consider themselves way high up on the ladder, don't want to mess with a small project like this project is a low budget, which basically means it's like, you know, around the 2 million mark. And it's funny that, you know, people who are used to working in a much higher pedigree of show are not going to look at a low budget show. Unless I can convince them to fall in love with the project and fall in love with me. So I'm going to reach out to a bunch of DPs and I'm going to try and do that. And here's what I was saying to Pat earlier, that the weird thing with getting a DP for this movie is it's not going to be an instant thing. It's not going to be like, hey, I like you. Do you like this project? Yes, cool, you're hired, let's go. It's going to be way more organic and messy than that, because not only do I have to find a DP that I like, not only do I have to find a DP that likes the project, but they've also got to like me. And then more importantly, that DP and myself have to fast track our communication and our language of cinema to make sure that we're completely speaking the same language, so that when it comes to set and I'm like, oh, you know what, we really need a whatever it is, we need a Roger Deakins volumetric look of light here with a rule of thirds, and we're gonna, you know, dolly from this to that. And any DP is going to know all the technical terms, but it's more about our cultural references and points of reference. So I can say, oh, you know, you can make it look like the beginning of Train Spotting, or whatever the reference is. We've got to make sure that we're speaking the same visual language. So that takes time, because you got to build rapport with someone. And usually by the time a director is at my stage in my career, they've already built that rapport with the DP that they met in film school and came up through the ranks. And I worked with a bunch of different DPs when I was in film school. But then when I started making shorts and doing commercials and early in my career, I got frustrated because some of the DPs that I was working with early in my career weren't quick enough for my liking. And I felt that I could actually set up the lights or do it myself quicker than I could explain it to them. The other thing is, because I'm a post-production specialist, I kind of view cinematography a little bit different, because for me it's less about trying to get the perfect looking camera, and it's more about getting a perfect exposure in camera, because I know what latitude I have in post and how far I can pull and push and stretch an image. So, you know, having a very thorough knowledge of post-production. And when I say I'm a post-production specialist, I really mean I'm an editor, VFX artist, and colorist. So having that really strong foundation of post-production knowledge makes me look at cinematography a little bit different than maybe a cinematographer that doesn't have that experience. But this movie, Scissor Mouth, is too big of a movie. I mean, it's 10 times bigger than anything we've ever made. And, you know, the look everything has to be nailed and on point, and there's no room for error. And to be honest, I don't want to be so focused on the look on set that I'm not working with my actors to get the best performance and blocking and staging and all of that good stuff. So for all these reasons, we need a DP, aka a cinematographer. I once heard that the difference between a director of photography and a cinematographer is the fact that one or the other doesn't touch the camera. I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that before. Because to me, cinematographer and DP were always the same thing. But apparently there are some cinematographers, you know, some DPs like Roger Deakins, he's like operating the camera. But then there are some DPs or cinematographers that just have their camera team operate the camera, and they'll just, you know, look through the lens and tell them what they want, and they don't actually manipulate the camera themselves. I don't know if that's true about the difference between a DP and a cinematographer. If you know, let me know in the comments down below, because that's kind of interesting. I think if that is true, then that's the way the words used to be used. But certainly in the last 20 years, DP and cinematographer have become, you know, interchangeable and mean the same thing to most people. So I'm going to go through this list and take a look at some of these DPs. I'll let you know what I find in a minute. Ooh, one thing that I'm learning about this list of DPs that I like very much right off the bat is they have their reels, they have their links to IMDb, and in some cases they even have their phone numbers. So I don't feel that this is a very gatekeeping website or situation, whereas sometimes calling an agent at a big agency, you run into that gatekeeping nonsense very much. And Pat and I were talking about this yesterday. We were wondering, like, I wonder how many opportunities managers or agents never showed their clients because the manager or agent decided, it's not the right opportunity. In fact, Pat was telling me a story yesterday. Pat, can you take a second to tell me the story you were telling me yesterday about? I was just telling the guys and girls at home about the missed opportunity factor of like some managers and agents have never even told their clients about certain opportunities, and you were telling me about a case with that happened to Diana Ross.
Okay, this is what I've read from biographies and stories and articles. The super agent Sue Mengers, who was very most active in the 70s. She packaged a lot of the great films like Godfather, I believe, series. Her clients included both Diana Ross and Barbra Streisand, and there was a script written for Diana Ross, The Main Event. And if you know the movie, you'll know that it doesn't star Diana Ross, it stars Barbra Streisand, because Sue Mengers, even though the script was written for Diana Ross, Sue never showed it to her because she thought it was a better film packaged for her other client, Barbara. So
scandalous.
So it was made with Barbara, with Ryan O'Neal, and it was a hit. It was a hit for her. It was a hit film. Came out in 1979. The Main Event, she plays a boxing manager. So yeah, so that was a film. I believe Diana was never even shown the script because it was given to Sue first, who thought, "Oh, this is better for Barbara."
That's what I'm saying. This is what I mean about gatekeeping. Like, so I could be reaching out to a DP's agent, and I could say, "Hey, we got this fantastic project," and for whatever reason, that agent could think, you know what, this might not be enough money for me, so I'm not going to show it to my client, which is nuts. So that's kind of why I reached out to that DP on Instagram as well, because on the one hand, it's not very professional to reach out to someone on social media, but at the same time, at least she knows now that I reached out to her agent. So she may say, hey, there's this girl that hit me up on Instagram. She said she reached out to you. Did she? And hopefully there won't be that shenanigans. It's silly. But, oh, Pat, I was just saying,
What?
before you put your headphones on, I was looking at this list on Women in Media LA, this list of directors of photography.
Right.
And it's really cool because it not only has their IMDb's, but it also has their reels, and it also has, most importantly, a phone number for them. And in most cases, which tells me the DPs listed on here are just like one step down from like ASC. These are women, working professionals in the industry who are trying to ascend the ladder and get up to that level.
Right.
And so therefore they are more hungry and do things like post their number on websites and stuff because they're looking for work. Whereas the higher echelon of people in the industry who maybe aren't as hungry are, constructing more walls around them as opposed to, constructing doorways to reach them through. So this is cool. I mean, like, I'll check it out. This is there's a lot to go through. There's a lot of reels and stuff to watch. I'll let you guys know what I find in a sec. So this DP's name is Iona Vasile.
Oh,
Did I say that right, Iona?
probably.
And
Looks like maybe a
she
Romanian
is
name.
non-union. She's Los Angeles.
In Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah, see, Romanian. I knew it.
And let's have a quick look at her IMDb. And then we'll look at her reel. Cinematographer. Birdhouse, short, TV series, short, feature.
Yeah, she's done a whole bunch.
A whole bunch of things, but nothing crazy.
But let's look at real.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's all about the quality of the work. I like her work for a couple of reasons that I'll tell you in a sec. Let's check this out.
It's beautiful. No, I love it. I like that first shot too.
You notice how a lot of her shots, the darks are very crushed, which is something that we've been talking about that. It's also quite gritty. It's quite grainy, which is nice. I
like that look right there looks great.
And then she's obviously used to dealing with VFX.
That's nice.
I like, she gets a lot of depth in a lot of these shots. Like, I love the...
Yeah, totally.
Like, especially towards the end of this reel, I'll point out stuff like this with the... and that, and like this with this in the background, or... It looks cinematic, or like her framing, like with this in the background for the depth.
It doesn't just look like a... No, it looks cinematic. I like it. Put her on the short list.
She's on the short list.
Put her on the short list. I really like her work.
Yeah, me too. She's on the short list. So far, the short list is 2 people. Her and Natalie Kingston. I think, obviously, Natalie Kingston brings more weight to the project, but I feel that with... How do you say her name? Is it Iona?
Iona, yeah.
I feel that with Iona, she's more accessible because we're not going through a gatekeeper. Here's a number, yada, yada.
Right.
Let's take a quick look at her website overall. Come see some of her work. Deborah Richards branded music video about. Let's see about. Press.
She's in the New York Times.
Let's see what the New York Times says about her. Oops, continue with Google. Don't make me buy something to read up.
Usually they give you like 5. I know. Don't put a link there if you have to buy it.
Yeah. Ooh, Shudder. That's horror.
The Dead Thing. Can we watch it?
Let's see. What's that website that tells you where you can watch everything? Watch Now?
Yeah, watch now.
Watch Now.
Well, I just go to Amazon, see if it's there.
It's not Watch Now. What was it?
No.
Yeah, it is. What was the film called?
Shudder? Go back.
No, not the Shudder's the platform. Where was it?
On her website. The press release. The press. There we go. Press it.
The Dead Thing. Okay, let's see if we can find that. The Dead
There we go.
Thing.
Like 2025. That was it right there.
And where was it?
No, it was right there. Do write The Dead Thing.
Oh, I see on the icons that pop up. Okay, cool. Let's see. Prime.
It's on Prime.
Oh, is it on Prime? With AMC.
Prime subscription with AMC Plus. Yeah, but look, even it was like $3.99. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'm going to go watch it right now. Cool. I'm going to watch it right now.
Okay.
This is... Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. This is the movie that we're talking about. It's called The Dead Thing.
Go on IMDb and make sure.
And by the way, if you ever want to know where you can watch something, you go to a website called Watch Now. You type in the movie, and it will tell you in any country what platforms it's playing on. So that is super helpful. But cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna go check out this this movie by Iona. How do you say it again?
Ione. What was it?
Iona.
Iona Vasile.
Iona Vasile is the director of photography of a movie called The Dead Thing, and I'm going to go watch it now. I'll be back in a second and let you know my thoughts. Pat, before I go watch that movie, there's a director of photography in New York who reached out to us in February through Slated about Scissor Mouth. And they wrote, this project sounds like an intense and visually striking horror story with deep psychological edge. The blend of twisted family trauma, surreal romance, and brutal violence offers incredible opportunities for bold, atmospheric cinematography. I'd love to be considered for the DP role and help craft the unsettling yet cinematic world that this story demands. So 3 things going for him. 1, he reached out to us.
Right.
2, he lives in New York, because we're planning on shooting it in upstate New York. And 3, his work is very good.
Let me see. What's his name?
He's a black dude, and he's called Brandon Haynes. You want to check his work out? It's really cool.
Dude, let me check his work. Those stills look great.
Yeah, the stills look great. Okay, so this is images from his narrative work. So let's click on the first thing, and then let's press play and see.
I'm a representative from a rather prestigious production company, and I think that you would be a perfect fit for our upcoming film.
So this is obviously just one project. This isn't a...
The lead.
I mean, this is the best thing I've ever read. I mean, it's so visceral, so intense.
Should we check out another one of his projects?
It's a lot of
Wait,
responsibility.
Sure.
This out.
This is it.
I'm
He wants
okay.
you to be a
This is just my immediate reaction.
Yeah,
I'll be a character.
It looks a little
I don't
flat.
think you understand what I'm
does look a
saying.
little flat. I feel like that flat look is so in vogue. Do you know what I mean? I feel like so many people are doing that flat look.
Not necessarily with me.
Okay, let's have a look at another one of his projects. Which one do you want to see?
That one was the lady on the lower left.
This one?
Yeah.
Let's see. This is called Not Like
Okay,
the
that
Other
looks,
Girls. Let's see. Oh, I'll shine off my screen.
Such a terrible thing to happen to such a young woman.
Oh, that's got a lot of contrast.
Did Annabelle ever stay
This looks
after
better to
school
me.
to work on her
Alright.
English assignment?
What was the look of that last thing? This is what we call gritty, right? A lot of grain.
Did you see her last Monday afternoon after
There's
school?
more range in the lighting.
I don't know if I'm ready yet.
There's more depth
Not
to the
make this
shots too.
personal. It's not the same case.
Way more.
The mother.
Both the
is
interiors
living
and the
with her
exteriors.
ex-husband,
See,
Annabelle's
The
father,
interiors
but
there.
has been in
The
Europe
interiors
for
have
the
way
past
more
3
depth than
months.
that first project.
Maybe things aren't so
See, that's
rosy in the
flattish.
household.
So that's sort of flat, yeah. I think it would depend on the scene. See, look at that looked good. In the house, that old house.
That what we just saw is really kind of typical of what I was saying of the one end of the spectrum in terms of gritty and grainy, and quite contrasty. You want to see another one of his things?
Yeah,
or-
of course I do.
Okay.
I like that one. No, one, the guy that's down center. There we go.
Okay, let's have a look at this.
Oh, that's he looks good. Already I like that one. That was good.
He's really good at dealing with black skin tones. He really makes them pop. I don't think there's a trailer there. No trailer, just some stills. Okay,
Yeah, I like those. Let's try that one.
Let's see what this is.
Dad, please, hurry! I want to die. They got a gun on me, Dad! How do you jurisdiction, officer? Get on your weapons! That's my gun! That's my gun!
Ay, ay, ay. Gun violence. Okay.
I like the kinetic energy of the shots. It wasn't much, it was just that one scene. Maybe it was a location too. It wasn't, the most cinematic location. But
Look at his
the
black and white
kinetic
gritty.
energy, the movement of the shots was great.
Super grainy. Is this just a still? Is it, That's strange. Strange.
Rear shots from there.
Does some documentary work as well. Let's have a look at this.
To the center. See already that looks interesting visually.
The meaning for these photos grow for me over time. That's why I love the medium of photography, because you can capture one singular.
That's beautiful.
moment. You
Yeah, that's
capture
true. Yes,
one
so far it's
moment
been
of a
really good.
second, and it can tell a story of the preceding 10 years before and the following 10 years. Like, that's the beauty of, for me, of photography. Why I always love
This looks good.
photography, because this still second moment tells a much larger story than when it existed. In everybody's life,
You know,
where
That looks really good.
That was great. Another really cool thing. Well, not a cool thing, just a thing.
That looks great. The cinematic right there.
You know how Slated gives every person in the industry a score?
Yeah.
And I believe last time we looked, our scores were 7 each out of 100.
Yeah.
His is 9.
There you go.
Take it or leave it.
The depths. There's a lot of depths to these shots. Doesn't look flat at all. Looks very cinematic.
Let's see. This is him.
That's great.
Good looking fella. Let's see. Alexander Creatives. Oh, he's repped. Cool. Based in Brooklyn.
There you go.
Should I put him on the short list?
Just put them on the short list. Yes.
Put him on the short list. Brandon. We got our first fella on the short list. Haynes. Okie dokie. So I'm gonna go watch that movie that Iona Vasile did, and I've got to remind myself what it's called again because I don't remember. It is called The Dead Thing. Okay, guys, time to watch some film. So I'm watching this movie, The Dead One, right now, and it's got quite a cold look so far. A lot of grain. It's cool. It's a gritty look. And I'm enjoying it. First 5 minutes, no dialogue, all visual storytelling. Very cool. If you want to check it out, you can check it out on Shudder. But let's watch the movie. So that was pretty interesting watching that. I actually activated a 7-day free trial of Shudder to watch it, and Shudder is a platform and distributor, I believe, of horror films. And it suddenly occurred to me, wow, why don't I just kind of look at all the films on Shudder and start watching a gazillion horrors and see what looks I like and see who the DP is and then track them down that way, because not only are we looking for a DP who can elevate our work and deliver the quality that we're looking for, but it's also important, and this is per our co-producer's point, Marcus McGill said to us the other day, it's also very important that we get a DP from the horror genre. So I have to take a break right now because I got to jump into a real quick Zoom meeting with a quote-unquote person of interest. That's all I'm going to say. But after that, I'm going to jump back into the search for a DP. Cinematographers, where are you? I'm looking under every rock. Where are you? So hey guys, my head is spinning. I've been looking at so many DP reels and cinematographer reels that I'm going a little cross-eyed now, and I'm forgetting who's who and all that kind of stuff. But I think what I'm going to do is actually turn on Shudder, as I was saying, and look at some horrors and try and see if I can find something that, I really like the person's quality, but they're not like too above our reach, not below our reach, and just right. I'm trying to find the Goldilocks zone of the right DP for our movie. So that's it for today. If you like this long form content, you know what to do. Click in the circle up here to subscribe. Please leave a 5-star review down below, and I will see you all tomorrow for more Film Development Hell. Peace.